Welcome. Today, we are diving into an incredibly insightful explainer based on a strategic document from SkillUp Nepal. We're looking at a huge hurdle for Nepali corporate houses, bridging the execution gap. Making that jump from chaotic, fragmented day-to-day operations into a streamlined, AI-enabled future. So if you're a business leader trying to break through those stubborn operational bottlenecks to unlock real, sustainable growth, you're going to want to stick around for this. Let's get right into it. 74%. Let that sink in for a second. According to McKinsey data cited in our source, nearly 3/4 of employers are currently dealing with a skill shortage that is directly hitting their bottom line. We are not just talking about a minor headache for HR here. No, this is a critical operational failure, and it's literally bleeding profits and stalling enterprise growth across the board. Which brings us to a really tough question you've got to ask yourself. Are you paying the silent tax of inefficiency? I absolutely love this term. This silent tax is essentially the hidden cost of those outdated manual processes, data silos, and lingering skill gaps. Sure, it doesn't show up as a neat little line item on your balance sheet, but it is a massive, continuous drain on your business's momentum. Think about it. Every delayed decision, every redundant spreadsheet you have to update, every misaligned team member, it all adds up to this tax. So how exactly do we stop paying this tax? Well, here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, we'll look at the cost of inefficiency. Then we'll dive into the 4 pillars framework. Next, escaping the Excel trap, followed by building a talent engine. And finally, we'll map out the roadmap to ROI. Starting off with Section 1, the cost of inefficiency. Here, we're diagnosing the digital maturity gap that's currently holding back Nepal's industrial landscape. The root of this gap really boils down to 3 pretty alarming metrics. First up, a staggering 63% of graduates feel underprepared for the actual workforce. Basically, academic theory just isn't translating into industry readiness. Second, 85% of tech roles desperately need hands-on experience that candidates simply do not have yet. And finally, looking at small and medium enterprises, which make up almost all establishments, nearly 37% rate their own technology adoption as bad. So there's this massive disconnect between the tools that are out there and the structural readiness to actually use them. This lack of digital maturity leads directly into what the source so accurately calls the Excel trap. Have you been there? It's severe process fragmentation. It's a work environment where there is absolutely no single source of truth for your data. Instead of nice integrated systems, teams are stuck relying on disjointed spreadsheets, endless manual hisab or calculations, and completely siloed departments. And the result? Massive, costly delays that completely kill your agility. Moving on to Section 2, the 4 pillars framework. This is the highly structured paradigm shift designed to fix all that internal friction. Here's what that intervention looks like. Pillar 1 is technostructural. This is all about workflow optimization, integrating your ERPs, and giving everyone crystal clear role clarity so we can finally eliminate those redundant data silos. Pillar 2 is the talent and succession engine, shifting the focus to mapping out high-potential employees and boosting internal promotions. Pillar 3 brings in strategic AI and digital upskilling to future-proof your team against disruptions. And finally, Pillar 4 is predictive analytics, taking all that historical data and turning it into proactive maintenance to stop cost overruns before they happen. Combine these, and you shift your entire company culture from just rewarding working hard to actually achieving reduced lead times and tangible outcomes. That brings us to Section 3, escaping the Excel trap. We've got the framework down, but let's see what operational synergy actually looks like on the ground. Applying this framework creates a completely different daily reality. Think about the old way of doing things, running a business through endless Excel sheets, chaotic WhatsApp groups, and Viber messages. It's just silos, fragmented data, and huge communication bottlenecks. Now look at the modernized side. We're talking about a shift to intelligent integration. This means using middleware and ERPs like Zapier, Microsoft Dynamics 365, or SAP Business One, all feeding directly into Power BI dashboards. Suddenly, you have real-time visibility on your inventory, your cash flow, and where your bottlenecks are. You go from a chaotic guessing game to one solid, unshakable source of truth. It's a total game changer. But as we all know, software alone doesn't transform a company. People do. Which leads us to Section 4, building a talent engine by combining AI with the human element. There's a crucial mindset shift we have to talk about here. Listen to this. AI will not replace humans, but humans using AI will replace those who don't. SkillUp Nepal makes it very clear. AI is not a threat to your workforce. It's an operational utility.
It's an incredibly empowering tool. But to use it effectively, you have to develop your in-house leadership. You can't just buy an AI subscription and call it a day. You have to actively build digital champions who actually know how to wield it.
So what does this human-AI partnership look like in your day-to-day? Well, it's highly practical. We're looking at things like putting optical character recognition and AI layers directly over legacy systems like Tally or SAP to digitize huge backlogs in seconds. We're talking about AI helping run an internal talent marketplace to identify your high-potential future leaders. On the customer-facing side, it means deploying Nepali language chatbots and using sentiment analysis, which the data shows can actually boost retention for high-value clients by 15 to 20%. And crucially, it involves setting up a localized AI center of excellence, running boot camps so your team actually understands these tools inside and out. Finally, we arrive at Section 5, the roadmap to ROI. This is where we move from theory into actual, measurable execution. To do that, the source lays out this highly structured, realistic implementation timeline spread over 12 months. It kicks off in month 1 with a rapid diagnostic audit to pinpoint skill gaps and grab some quick wins. By month 3, you aren't turning the whole company upside down, you're just running a pilot launch with maybe 20 to 30 employees to test real-time objectives and an ERP pilot. Then between months 4 and 8, once you've proved the model works, you roll out your business intelligence and that single source of truth across the whole organization. By the end of the year, months 9 through 12, you've successfully established a command center culture that's fully driven by outcome-based incentives. It's phased, it's totally manageable, and it tracks productivity at every single step. And the results you get from this structured rollout? They are absolutely phenomenal. Imagine taking your month-end financial close time from a dragging 15 days down to just 3 to 5 days. That is a massive operational win. On top of that, the source notes a 30 to 40% drop in manual clutter and, get this, a 25% reduction in the time required from the board of directors. Why? Because you're replacing chaotic, anecdotal reporting with clean, data-driven board meetings. These impacts span across both the hard numbers and some really vital cultural shifts. Quantitatively, this AI-enabled performance management leads to a 30% increase in goal attainment, plus a 20 to 30% gain in overall operational efficiency. It also heavily reduces the need for expensive external headhunting by massively boosting your internal promotion rate. Qualitatively, your employee net promoter score shoots up. You see a real shift from an authoritarian management style to true agile leadership, which builds deep trust and a real sense of outcome ownership among your staff. Now, if you're sitting there wondering, okay, how do I actually begin this journey? SkillUp Nepal lays it out in a simple 3-step strategic alliance model. Step 1 is a rapid 2-week diagnostic audit. They come in, map out your specific inefficiencies, and calculate your baseline digital maturity index. Step 2 is a 1-week custom intervention. This is where they build a tailored organizational development and AI roadmap that perfectly aligns with your specific business goals. And step 3 is execution and ROI tracking, kicking things off with that vital pilot launch we talked about to immediately start measuring error reduction and retention. So we're going to wrap up with what is arguably the most important question for any corporate leader right now. Will you continue paying the silent tax of inefficiency, endlessly dealing with the daily friction of the Excel trap? Or are you ready to step up, engage in true structural transformation, and bridge the execution gap to build a future-ready AI-empowered organization? The data is crystal clear, the roadmap is right there and proven. The choice is yours. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this deep dive gave you a powerful new perspective on unlocking your enterprise's true growth potential.